My name is Crystal Okoche, and I'm talking about the ovarian cycle. The ovarian cycle is a series of events in the ovaries that happen during and after the maturation process of the oocytes. It has two structures that produce eggs. Each month, your eggs go through a cycle of maturation called the ovarian cycle. The cycle creates a second oocyte that can be fertilized by sperm, resulting in pregnancy. It is also commonly known as the menstrual process. The primary oocytes that are destined to be ovulated develop in complete meiosis 1. That's when there is 4 chromosomes that resegregate into haploid daughter cells. The ovarian cycle lasts 28 days, starting from 0 to 28. The 0 day is the primary follicle. The 14th day is when the secondary oocytes gets ejected and then ovulated. The 15th through the 28th day is getting back to its primary follicle. The granulosal cell produces three main hormones: the estrogen, the hibin, and the progesterone. When the secretion of the granulosal cell goes up, the estrogen levels goes up as well. The zona promoter separates the granulosal cell from the eggs. It still finds a way to still nourishes the eggs through a gap junction. The gap junction is the little passageway from one cell to the next, where it exchanges nutrients and other signals. Through the granulosal cell, it sends a little chemical that keeps the primary oocyte stage stuck together. They're stuck together until it's in a meiotic arrest. They are not dividing, which is the preantrium. Once it gets into the preantrium, the stages of the cells are growing, and then the numbers start to divide. The atrium is the fluid being produced by the granulosal cell. The atrium, which is the fluid being produced at the time of the ovarian cycle, multiple follicles are forming, but the biggest one is the one that gets ovulated, which is the primary follicle. The cumulus ovarus and the egg separate from each other, and they swim as it gets filled with fluid until it becomes mature and begins to grow. And then once it grows, it gets pushed out, which happens in day 14. If the egg does not get fertilized in 10 days, which is by day 25, then it keeps living. We want it to keep living so that it can keep producing. Once you're 50 to 51, females go through menopause, which is the sensation of ovulation. This happens because the eggs have degenerated, because you've had thousands and thousands of eggs that went through the ovarian cycle. Ovarian cycle, multiple follicles are forming, but the biggest one is the one that gets ovulated. If the egg doesn't get fertilized, it dies off. But if it gets fertilized, then it goes into the uterine tube and goes into the sperm. The ovulation does not happen forever. This is the ovarian cycle and what happens from day 0 to day 28.